Welcome back to my channel. Network topology refers to the physical or logical arrangement of nodes like computers, routers, switches, and so on in a network. Think of it like the blueprint or map that defines how devices are interconnected and how data flows between them. There are two kinds of topology. Physical topology, which is the actual physical layout of devices and cables, and logical topology, which is, how data flows through the network regardless of the physical design. There are 5 common types of network topologies. 1. Bus topology. All devices are connected to a single central cable called a bus or backbone. Data travels in both directions along the cable, and each device checks if the data is meant for it. Simple and inexpensive to set up, and it requires less cable than others. If the main cable fails, the entire network goes down, and performance drops as more devices are added. A single point of failure makes it easy for an attacker to disrupt communication. Eavesdropping is easier because all devices share one channel. 2. Star topology. All devices connect to a central hub or switch. The hub manages traffic, directing data to the correct destination. It's easy to troubleshoot. Failure in one cable doesn't affect the rest, and adding or removing devices is straightforward. If the hub fails, the entire network is impacted and more cables are required than in bus topology. The central hub can be monitored for anomalies, but the hub becomes a critical security point. A compromised hub can compromise the entire network. Okay, so 3. Ring topology. In this setup, each device connects to exactly 2 other devices, forming a closed loop. Data travels in one direction or sometimes in 2 directions if you're using a dual ring setup. The pros? Well, you get predictable data transmission with minimal collisions. And each device actually acts as a repeater, which strengthens the signals. But there are some cons too. If one device fails, the whole network might just break down, unless you have that dual ring. Troubleshooting can also be pretty tough. Now, from a cybersecurity perspective, since data passes through every node, if even one is compromised, it can be a point of data interception. On the plus side, the predictable data paths can help with intrusion detection. 4. Mesh topology. Here, devices are interconnected. Each device connects to every other device. The big advantages are high redundancy and reliability, because if one path fails, data simply reroutes through another. This gives you excellent fault tolerance. But honestly, it's expensive and complex to implement, and it gets harder to manage as the network grows. From a cybersecurity standpoint, mesh topology offers high resilience to denial of service attacks and outages. Multiple paths make it much harder for attackers to isolate or disrupt communication. 5. Tree topology, also known as hierarchical topology. It's basically a combination of star and bus topologies. Groups of star-configured nodes connect to a linear bus backbone. Data flow follows a hierarchy, moving from the top or root down to the leaves, which are the end devices. The pros? It's scalable and supports future network growth. Plus, it's easy to manage and can be segregated into departments or different levels. The cons include the fact that a failure in the backbone cable can cripple the entire network, and it's more complex than just using star or bus alone. On the cybersecurity side, the hierarchical structure lets you implement layered security like firewalls and access control at various levels. But vulnerabilities in the backbone can have pretty wide-reaching impacts. So, why does all this matter for cybersecurity? Well, understanding network topologies is absolutely vital for both preventing and responding to cybersecurity incidents. First, let's talk about threat detection and monitoring. Certain topologies, like star and mesh, make it easier to monitor traffic and strategically place intrusion detection systems and firewalls. Second, segmentation and access control. Tree and star topologies enable logical segmentation, which limits the spread of malware or intrusions and helps enforce the principle of least privilege. Third, redundancy and fault tolerance. Mesh topology, for example, offers resilience, so if an attack disrupts one route, data can find another, which is critical for mitigating denial of service attacks. Fourth, incident response. Knowing the topology helps you trace attack paths and isolate affected nodes quickly. And finally, scalability and secure growth. Choosing the right topology allows the network to grow without introducing new vulnerabilities. That's all for today. Remember to subscribe, like, share, and comment. Thanks for watching and stay tuned for my next video. Stay safe in cyberspace. Happy learning.